My beloved child, I need you to take a deep, slow breath and listen to the rhythm of my voice speaking directly to your heart in this sacred moment. I have seen the tears you shed when you think no one is looking, and I have felt the tremors of anxiety that ripple through your soul when you look at the mounting bills and the empty spaces in your life. You have felt for so long that the weight of the world was pressing down on you, trying to crush the very essence of who I created you to be. You have felt discarded, forgotten, and cast into a darkness so thick that you thought you were gasping your last breath of hope. The world, the circumstances of your life, and even those who turned their backs on you thought they were burying you. They thought they had finally silenced your song and extinguished your light. But I am here to tell you a secret that will change everything. They did not bury you, they planted you. In the economy of my kingdom, the darkness is never a tomb, it is always a womb. The soil that felt so heavy was not meant to suffocate you, but to protect you while I worked a miracle in the hidden places of your being. You have been in a season of germination, where I was stripping away the things that no longer served your destiny and strengthening your roots so that, when you finally break through the surface, no storm will ever be able to move you again. I know the nights have been long. I know the silence has felt like a desert where you wandered alone, wondering if I had forgotten my promises to you. I have heard the whispers of the enemy telling you that your finances will never recover, that your heart will always ache with this loneliness, and that you are past your prime for a miracle. But I am the God who calls things that are not as though they were. I am the God of the 11th hour. I am watching over you with a love that is fiercer than any fire you have walked through. Your bank account does not limit my provision. Your past does not limit my grace. Your current isolation is merely the cocoon before the flight. Even now, while you are reading these words, I am moving pieces on the chessboard of your life that you cannot see. I am opening doors that no man can shut and closing paths that would have led you to sorrow. That financial breakthrough you have been praying for is not just a dream. It is a seed that is about to sprout. I am sending help from places you never expected. I am touching the hearts of those who have the power to bless you, and I am making a way where there seems to be no way. Do not let your heart be troubled by the shadows. The shadows only exist because there is a great light shining nearby, and that light is my presence surrounding you. You are my masterpiece, and a master artist does not leave his work unfinished. I am restoring the years that the locusts have eaten. I am healing the wounds that you thought would leave permanent scars. I am filling your home with a peace that surpasses all understanding. You are not alone, my child. I am in the room with you. I am in the struggle with you. I am in the victory that is already written in your future. The season of being hidden in the earth is over. The soil is beginning to crack. The warmth of my love is pulling you upward. You are about to bloom in colors the world has never seen, and those who thought they had finished you will stand in awe of what I have produced from the very ground they used to cover you. Trust me with your tomorrow, for I am already there. Your miracle is not just coming, it is entering your home right now. Lean into me, rest in my arms, and know that you are loved beyond measure, forever and always. The rhythm of your life is changing from the frantic pace of survival to the steady, graceful stride of one who knows they are held. Think back to the season of the great silence, the months where it felt as though every prayer you whispered was caught by the wind and carried away into a void. You sat at your kitchen table, the wood worn smooth by years of resting your head in your hands, staring at the stack of envelopes that seemed to scream of your insufficiency. I was there in the kitchen with you. I was the warmth in the mug of tea that sustained you through the coldest midnight watches. Every time you chose to stay, every time you chose to believe despite the evidence of the empty cupboards and the heavy heart, you were pushing a root deeper into my heart. You did not know it then, but you were becoming unshakable. The world looks at the soil and sees only dirt, but I looked at the soil and saw the hidden majesty of what you were becoming. I saw the way you shared your last bit of strength with a friend who was also hurting, even when you felt you had nothing left to give. That was a seed of greatness, and it has grown into a harvest you cannot yet imagine. I am now calling forth the rain, not the storm that destroys, but the gentle, persistent downpour that softens the hardest ground. Can you feel the shift in the air? The static of anxiety is being replaced by the steady hum of my peace. I am looking at the weary lines around your eyes and I am smoothing them away with the touch of my hand. You have carried the weight of the world for too long, a weight I never intended for your shoulders. Give it to me. Let me carry the how and the when. Your only job is to be. You are blossoming now, and a flower does not strive to grow, it simply responds to the sun. I am your sun. I am the light that is drawing you out of the shadows of your past. I am looking at the relationships that left you feeling discarded. I am the one who gathers the broken pieces and creates a mosaic more beautiful than the original vessel. I am bringing people into your life who will see you not for what you can do for them, but for the precious soul you are. They will see the depth in your eyes and recognize the fire of a survivor. I am also looking at your physical body, the vessel that has carried you through the trenches. I am speaking health into your marrow. I am speaking vitality into your blood. The exhaustion that has settled in your bones is being washed away by the river of my life. You will run and not grow weary. You will walk and not faint. This is the season of the great unveiling. Those who whispered behind your back, those who wrote you off as a lost cause, will see you standing in the light of my favor, and they will have to acknowledge that I am with you. Not for your pride, but for my glory, so that they might know that I am a God who redeems, restores, and resurrects. Do you see the shoes by the door? The ones that are worn thin from walking paths you did not want to take. I am giving you new shoes for a new path. These paths are lined with grace. They lead to heights you only saw in your dreams. I am the one who orchestrates the divine appointments. That phone call you are waiting for, I am in the heart of the person on the other end. That door that has been stuck for years, I am oiling the hinges. Nothing is too small for my attention because nothing about you is small to me. You are the apple of my eye. When the wind blows through your hair today, let it be a reminder of my spirit moving in your life, invisible, yet powerful enough to move mountains. I am breathing on your finances, turning the not enough into more than enough. I am doing this so you can be my hands and feet in a world that is starving for kindness. Your story is becoming a roadmap for others. You are the evidence that the grave is not the end. You are the proof that being buried is just the beginning of being planted. I am holding your hand as you step into this new light. Do not be afraid of the brightness. Your eyes were made for this. You were created to reflect my radiance. Lean into the comfort of my voice. Let it drown out the echoes of the critics. I am the only one who defines you, and I say you are magnificent. I say you are strong. I say you are mine. The soil is behind you now. The sky is above you. The growth will continue day by day, inch by inch, until you are a cedar of Lebanon, sturdy and enduring. My love is the anchor that holds you in the swell, and my words are the map that will guide you to the shores of your inheritance. Even in this moment, I am aligning circumstances you cannot see, moving the hearts of strangers to favor your cause, and softening the paths that were once jagged. Rest in the knowledge that you are a child of the Most High, and your rising is non-negotiable. Look at your hands. They have been through much, haven't they? They have clenched in frustration, wiped away tears in the secret hours of the night, and perhaps even trembled at the uncertainty of what lay ahead. But I want you to look again. I see hands that are being prepared to hold an inheritance far greater than the struggle that preceded it. Do you remember the nights when the weight of the earth felt like a permanent ceiling? You cried out for a way out, but I was providing a way through. The pressure you felt was not intended to crush the life out of you, but to crack the shell of the person you used to be. That old version of you was limited, confined by the expectations of others and the smallness of your own sight. I needed to break that husk so the greatness I tucked inside your spirit could finally reach for the atmosphere. Think back to those who whispered that you were finished, those who walked away when the shadows grew long. They thought they were attending a funeral, but I was the only one who knew it was a coronation in the making. Every shovel of dirt they threw upon your name was merely another layer of protection, another source of nutrients for the roots I was teaching you to grow. You wondered why I did not stop them. You wondered why I allowed the silence to stretch for so long. It was because the deepest work requires the quietest environment. In the dark, I was reweaving your DNA with the threads of resilience. I was teaching your heart to beat in rhythm with mine, away from the distractions of the applause you once craved. Now, look at the orientation of your soul. You are no longer looking down at the dust. You are looking up at the vastness of my intentions for you. I am opening doors in this hour that no man can shut, and I am doing it with a precision that will leave you breathless. I am touching those broken places in your lineage, the generational patterns that felt like chains. I am snapping them one by one, not with a hammer, but with the gentle persistence of a growing vine. You are the one who will change the trajectory of your family history. You are the one who will carry the light into the rooms where darkness has reigned for decades. Do not look back at the hole you emerged from with bitterness. That hole was the womb of your destiny. Every tear you shed became the irrigation for this new season. I have bottled every single one of them, and I am pouring them back out as a refreshing rain upon the parched ground of your future. I am bringing people into your life who will not see your scars as defects, but as badges of honor. They will recognize the fragrance of the fire you have walked through and be drawn to the warmth of the spirit that dwells within you. I am sharpening your discernment so that you can navigate the heights as well as you navigated the depths. You are learning that my grace is not just a safety net for when you fall, but a propulsion system for when you soar. There is a specific project on your heart, a dream you tucked away because you thought it had died in the winter. I am breathing on those dry bones. I am calling that dream to stand up and breathe again. It will look different this time, more robust and more beautiful, because it is no longer fueled by your striving, but by my power. Feel the shift in the atmosphere around you. The heaviness is being replaced by a garment of praise. The confusion is giving way to a clarity that is piercing and pure. I am giving you the why behind the wait. You will see that if I had brought you out sooner, you would not have had the capacity to hold what I am about to give you. You were being expanded. Your capacity for joy, for peace, and for influence was being stretched in the darkness. Now, as you stand in the morning light, you are a vessel that can carry the heavy weight of my glory without breaking. I am placing a new song in your mouth, a melody of triumph that will silence the accuser. Your life is a living testimony that nothing is ever truly lost in my kingdom. I am the God of the resurrection, the God who makes all things new. As you walk forward today, do not hurry. Walk with the steady pace of one who knows they are loved, one who knows they are led. I am orchestrating the timing of your encounters, the alignment of your resources, and the peace of your mind. Every step you take is on ground I have already surveyed and sanctified. You are entering a period of suddenlies, where the harvest of years will manifest in moments. Stay close to my side. The conversation between us is only getting deeper. I have so much more to show you, so many more secrets of the kingdom to whisper into your ear. You are my masterpiece, and the unveiling has only just begun. The world is about to see what happens when a soul stops fighting the process and starts trusting the gardener. You are the bloom that will stop people in their tracks, not because of your own effort, but because of the unmistakable radiance of my presence upon you. Let the past stay where it belongs, in the soil. Your future is as bright as my promise, and my promises never fail. We are moving into a space of abundance, not just in things, but in spirit. You will find that you have more than enough love to give, more than enough wisdom to share, and more than enough strength to stand. This is the inheritance of the planted. This is the reward of the one who stayed in the dirt until I said, "Rise." And now, my child, look up. The horizon is wider than you ever imagined. Every bit of the resistance you faced was just the friction needed to launch you into this new dimension of my favor. You are not just surviving, you are finally beginning to truly live. Think back to the nights when the silence felt like a heavy blanket of lead, when you questioned if your prayers were even clearing the ceiling. In those moments, you felt discarded, a small, hard thing tossed into a pit of darkness. But I was there, pressing the earth firmly around you, not to suffocate you, but to protect you from the elements you weren't yet ready to face. You see, a seed that remains on the surface is a seed that is easily stolen by the birds of the air or scorched by the midday sun. I had to hide you. I had to let the world think you were gone so that I could work on what was beneath the surface. I saw you at that kitchen table at 2 a.m., the blue light of your laptop reflecting in your tired eyes, as you tried to make sense of a budget that didn't add up or a future that seemed to have vanished into the fog of uncertainty. I saw the way you winced when you heard the news of someone else's success, not because you weren't happy for them, but because the contrast made your own dormancy feel like a failure. But it wasn't failure. It was the internal architecture of a giant being built in the secret place, while you were weeping over the loss of that relationship, the one you thought was your forever. I was using the space that departure left to expand your capacity for me. You felt the hollowness as pain. I saw it as a vessel being prepared for a new kind of wine. Every person who walked away was just clearing the view for the horizon I am now showing you. Every door that slammed shut in your face was my hand locking you in a room of preparation. Do you remember the no that broke your spirit? That no was my not yet, and my not this way. I was refining your desires, teaching you to want the giver more than the gift. And now, as you begin to stretch your limbs upward, you will find that your roots are deep. They have wrapped themselves around the ancient stones of my faithfulness. When the storms come, and they will come, you will not be moved because you learned how to find water in the dry places. You learned how to draw life from the very soil that others thought would bury you. You are becoming a shade tree for the weary. The wisdom you gained in the dark is now a lamp for those who are still underground. I am giving you a sensitivity to the subtle shifts in the spirit. You will begin to notice the needs of others before they speak them. You will find that your hands carry a healing weight, that your words have a frequency that breaks chains. This isn't because of a degree you earned or a title you were given. It's because you have the scent of the soil on you, and the scent of the soil is the scent of resurrection. I am taking the memories of your hardest years, and I am turning them into your greatest testimonies. That period of financial lack, it was a masterclass in my provision, and soon you will be the one who seeds into the dreams of others with a generosity that defies logic. That season of physical exhaustion, it was the dismantling of your self-reliance so that you could finally learn to operate in my supernatural rest. I am even redeeming the time you think you lost. In the kingdom, time is not linear. It is subject to the king. I can collapse decades of growth into a single season of favor. I can bring the harvest of what your ancestors planted into your hands today. You are walking into a synergy of generations. The prayers of your grandmother, the ones she whispered over your cradle when you were too small to understand, are blooming in your life right now. You are the answer to petitions you didn't even know were filed in the courts of heaven. Don't be afraid of the height you are reaching. The higher you go, the more you must lean into my strength. The atmosphere is different up here. It requires a different kind of breathing. You must learn to breathe in the thin air of total dependency. This is where the miracles live. This is where the impossible becomes the baseline. We are moving together into a territory of more than enough. I want to show you how I handle the details, the way I can orchestrate a chance meeting in a grocery store aisle that changes the trajectory of your entire year. I want to show you how I can speak through the mouth of a stranger to confirm the secret thought you only shared with me. This is the intimacy of the planted. You are no longer a stranger to the gardener. You are the pride of the garden. Remember the specific sting of that one betrayal, the person who knew your heart and used it against you. In the economy of my grace, that betrayal was the spade that broke the hard crust of your pride, allowing the oxygen of my spirit to reach the depths of your soul. You thought it was an ending, but it was a tilling. I am turning that scar into a map. There are people you will meet who have been wounded in the exact same place, and they will see the way your skin has knit back together stronger than before, and they will find hope. Your transparency is your power. Do not hide the dirt you came from, for it is the proof of my power to transform. I am giving you a new name in this season, not the names the world gave you, forgot, struggling, late, but the names I have written in the palms of my hands. You are chosen. You are established. You are fruitful. I want you to start speaking this new language. When you wake up, don't look at the clock and feel the pressure of the day. Look at the light and feel the invitation of my presence. We are co-laboring now. You are not working for me, you are working with me. There is a lightness in that. The heavy lifting was done when you were under the earth. Now, it is about positioning and posture. Keep your heart open, like a flower to the sun. Do not let the cynicism of the world close your petals. I will protect your softness. I will be the hedge around your peace. Even now, I am arranging your next steps. I am speaking to people you haven't even met yet about you. I am preparing the hearts of those who will support your vision. You will find that when you show up, the room has already been warmed for you. This is what it means to be favored. It isn't about being better than anyone else. It's about being in the center of my will, where the resources of heaven are at your disposal. I am teaching you the art of the effortless flow. You've spent so many years grinding, pushing, and forcing doors open. Now, watch as I breathe on the hinges and they swing wide. You will walk through and wonder why you ever worried. The peace that surpasses understanding is not just a catchphrase. It is your new home. Stay here with me. Let the roots go even deeper into the soil of my love, for the higher you grow, the deeper you must know me. You are beginning to understand that the depth of the darkness you felt was actually the depth of the nourishment I was providing. Remember the nights in that quiet apartment, the one where the silence felt like a heavy shroud. You thought you were alone in those hours, staring at the ceiling and counting the mistakes of your past. But I was there, sitting at the edge of your bed, whispering to your spirit the very truths you are now starting to walk in. Every tear that soaked your pillow was not wasted. It was the irrigation for the harvest you are about to reap. I was washing away the scales from your eyes so that when the light finally broke, you wouldn't be blinded by it, but empowered by it. You used to measure your worth by the number of emails in your inbox or the accolades of people who didn't even know your middle name. Now, I am teaching you to measure your worth by the stillness of your soul. Do you feel that shift? It is the transition from the performance stage to the secret place. In the secret place, there is no need for masks. You don't have to rehearse your lines or polish your image. I saw you when you were buried, under the weight of expectations that were never mine for you to carry. I saw you trying to breathe under the layers of should-haves and could-haves. And as the world threw more dirt on you, I was busy mixing that dirt with the grace necessary to make you unbreakable. This is why you feel different now. You are not just recovered, you are redesigned. The fibers of your being have been reinforced with the gold of my presence. Think of the specific moments when you felt the most overlooked. Perhaps it was that promotion that went to someone else, or the relationship that ended without a word of explanation. In your perspective, those were graves. In my perspective, those were trenches. I was digging deep to lay a foundation that could support the weight of the influence I am about to entrust to you. If I had given you the platform then, the pressure would have crushed you. But now your roots are wrapped around the rock. You cannot be shaken because you have already survived the crushing. Look at your hands. They are no longer clenched in a desperate attempt to hold onto what was never yours. They are open. This openness is your greatest strength. It allows me to pour into you, and it allows you to pour out to others without the fear of running dry. I am your wellspring. I am the reservoir that never fails. In the coming days, you will notice a change in the atmosphere of your daily life. The small frustrations that used to derail your entire afternoon, the traffic jam, the misplaced keys, the sharp word from a colleague, will begin to lose their grip. You will find yourself smiling in the middle of the chaos, not because you are ignoring reality, but because you are tapped into a higher one. You will realize that the sunlight I am providing is not just a metaphor. It is a literal radiation of my joy into your physical body. Your health will begin to reflect the peace of your mind. I am healing the nervous system that was fried by years of fight or flight. I am resetting your internal clock to the rhythm of my grace. We are walking into a season of divine synchronicity. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time, meeting the right people with the exact words they need to hear. Do not overthink these encounters. Do not try to script them. I have already gone before you. I have already salted the ground. Your only job is to remain in the effortless flow. When you feel the urge to push, stop. Breathe. Ask me, is this a door I am meant to open, or is this a wall I am meant to wait behind? I will answer you in the quietness of your heart. I am also dealing with your past detractors. Those who thought they had the final word on your story are about to see a sequel they never expected. I am not doing this to embarrass them, but to demonstrate my sovereignty. I will prepare a table for you in the presence of those who doubted you, not so you can gloat, but so they can see that I am the one who vindicates. I am your defense attorney, your protector, and your greatest advocate. You don't need to explain yourself to those who are committed to misunderstanding you. Your growth will be your explanation. Your fruit will be your testimony. Stay soft, my child. The world will tell you to harden your heart to survive the cold, but I tell you that the warmth of my love is more than enough to keep you thawed. Your sensitivity is not a liability. It is the sensor by which you will detect my movements. Like a finely tuned instrument, you are being calibrated to hear the frequencies of heaven. Even now, as you read these words, I am lifting the last of the heavy soil off your shoulders. The sprout has broken the surface. The air is fresh. The sky is vast. This is the beginning of your above-ground life. It will look nothing like the life you lived before the burial. It will be characterized by a lightness of spirit and a clarity of vision that will astound even you. You are no longer defined by the dirt. You are defined by the bloom. And oh, what a bloom it shall be! It will carry the fragrance of endurance, the color of hope, and the resilience of a life that was hidden in me. We have much to do, and yet there is no rush. We have all of eternity to walk this out together. Lean into the mystery. Embrace the unfolding. I am right here, and I am not going anywhere. Notice how the light feels on your face now. It is not the harsh, scorching heat of judgment you once feared, but a gentle, nurturing glow that recognizes your fragile beauty. For so long, you associated the light with exposure, with the shame of being seen in your brokenness. But look at you now. The soil that once felt like a suffocating weight was actually the womb of your transformation. It held you when you could not hold yourself. It provided the pressure necessary to crack the hard shell of your ego, the defenses you built to protect a version of yourself that was never meant to be permanent. Remember the nights when the silence was so loud it felt like it would swallow you whole. Those were the moments I was whispering the loudest, even if your ears were too filled with the sound of your own heartbeat to hear me. I was singing over your potential. I was speaking to the roots that were quietly stretching, finding the hidden streams of my grace that run deep beneath the surface of common experience. You might feel a bit wobbly as you stand tall. That is to be expected. You are using muscles of faith that haven't been exercised in the open air for quite some time. Do not be ashamed of your trembling. The wind that blows against you now is not meant to break you. It is meant to strengthen your core. It is the breath of my spirit, teaching you how to sway without snapping, how to yield without losing your ground. You see, those who watched you disappear beneath the earth thought they were attending a funeral. They spoke in hushed tones about your potential in the past tense. They filed away your name under the category of unfortunate endings. But I was there, the divine gardener, choosing the perfect composition of soil for the specific medicine I am growing within you. Yes, you are a medicine, my child. The very things that tried to destroy you, the betrayal that left you gasping, the loss that felt like a permanent winter, the failures that you thought defined your worth, these have been composted. They have been broken down and turned into the very nutrients that will make your bloom more vibrant than any that grew in easy circumstances. I want you to look back at the place where you were buried, not with bitterness, but with a holy recognition. See the marks of the shovel. Those weren't the hands of your enemies, even if it felt like it at the time. I was the one holding the tool. I allowed the digging because I knew the depth of the legacy I wanted to build in you. A shallow planting results in a shallow life, easily uprooted by the first storm. But you have been planted deep. You have learned to find nourishment in the dark. You have learned that I am there in the low places, in the damp and the cold, just as much as I am in the heights. This depth is your secret power. When the droughts come, and they will come for others around you, you will not wither. Your roots have reached the ancient waters that never run dry. You will be a source of shade for those who are currently where you used to be. You will be able to look at the buried ones and tell them, with a voice that carries the weight of experience, wait for the spring. The gardener is still working. We are entering a season of suddenlies, but I want you to maintain the pace of the garden. Do not try to rush the unfolding of your petals. Each one has a story to tell. Each one is a shade of color that took years of process to perfect. I am meticulously peeling back the layers of your identity that were formed by trauma and replacing them with the truth of your design. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a masterpiece of my resilience. Look at your hands. They are no longer clenched in a desperate attempt to hold onto what was slipping away. They are open. This openness is the posture of your new life. You will receive much in this season, not just material blessings, though I delight in providing for you, but spiritual inheritance. You are beginning to see people through my eyes. You are starting to hear the unspoken cries of the hurting. This is the fruit I spoke of. It is a sweetness that comes only from having been crushed and then restored. There will be those who come to see the miracle of your return. Some will be genuinely joyful, while others will be confused by how you could possibly flourish after what you endured. Treat both with the same grace. You do not need to prove your restoration to the skeptics. Your very existence is the proof. When they ask how you survived, you won't have a complex strategy to share. You will simply point to the ground and then to the sky. You will tell them that, when you were at your lowest, you found a love that doesn't mind the dirt. You found a Savior who knows what it is like to be placed in a tomb only to burst forth with the keys to life. Your story is now woven into the greatest story ever told. You are a living parable of the resurrection, and we are just getting started. There are branches yet to grow that will reach into territories you never dreamed of visiting. There are seeds within you that will eventually fall and create forests of hope in the lives of others. But for today, just breathe. Breathe in the oxygen of your freedom. Feel the strength of my hand supporting your stem. You are safe. You are seen. You are cherished beyond measure. Let the warmth of my presence sink into your very cells. There is no more hiding, only thriving. I am moving you from the secret place of the soil to the sacred space of the sun, and I am doing it with a tenderness that will heal every bruise the world left on you. There is a specific rhythm to this new life, a pulse of peace that beats in sync with my own. You will find that you no longer have to scream to be heard or struggle to be noticed. Your presence alone will carry the quiet authority of one who has overcome. I am teaching you the language of the kingdom, where the last are first and the buried are the most beloved. Trust the process of the upward reach. You are becoming exactly who I always knew you were. Look at your hands now, no longer clenched in the desperation of a drowning soul, but open like petals catching the morning dew. I want you to remember that specific afternoon in October, the one where the weight of your failures felt like a literal stone rolled across the entrance of your heart. You sat on the edge of your bed, the shadows lengthening across the floor, and you whispered that it was over. You felt the cold dampness of the earth pressing in on every side. What you didn't see was me, sitting there in the shadows with you, counting every heartbeat, whispering to the dormant potential inside your spirit to wait, just a little longer. I was not distant. I was the very atmosphere you were breathing when the oxygen felt thin. The people who walked away, the opportunities that crumbled like dry leaves, the voices that told you that you were finished, they were merely the gardeners of a destiny they could not comprehend. They thought they were disposing of you, but they were actually positioning you for a nutrient-rich environment where your pride would die so your purpose could live. Do you feel the difference in your roots today? They are no longer shallow, reaching only for the surface-level approval of men. They have pushed through the rocky layers of disappointment and found the hidden springs of my spirit. This is why you feel a stability now that you never possessed in your youth. You are anchored in the eternal. Let us walk together through the garden of your memories, but this time, look through my eyes. See that no, that broke your heart. It was the hedge I built to keep you from a path that would have hollowed you out. See that season of isolation. It was the greenhouse where I regulated the temperature of your soul so you wouldn't shatter under the pressure of the calling I am now placing upon you. You are beginning to unfurl, one green leaf at a time. Do not be ashamed of the dirt that still clings to your edges. It is a testament to where you have been and a reminder of the grace that pulled you through. I am carving my name into your trunk, not with a knife of pain, but with a stylus of light. You are my poetry written in wood and leaf. I want you to notice the way the light catches the dew on your skin. That dew is the collection of your prayers, once frozen in the night, now shimmering in the dawn. There is a fragrance beginning to rise from you, a scent of crushed herbs and ancient resins that will draw the weary to your shade. You didn't know it then, but every time you felt crushed, you were actually being refined into an ointment for the brokenhearted. I am leading you now to a place of wider horizons. You can see further than you ever could when you were standing on the surface of your own ego. From this height, you can see that the valley you feared was actually a very small part of a much larger, more beautiful landscape. I am teaching you how to sway with the wind without breaking. The storms will still come, for that is the nature of the world, but they will no longer terrify you. Instead, they will wash away the dust of the day and give you a reason to drink deep from the living water I provide. Can you feel the sap rising? That is my joy, a quiet, humming vibration that doesn't depend on your circumstances. It is the life force of the kingdom flowing through your veins. You were never meant to be a cut flower, beautiful for a moment and then discarded. You are a cedar of Lebanon, a tree of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that I may be glorified. Stay in this moment with me. Don't rush into the harvest. Enjoy the sensation of growth. There is a sacred intimacy in this unfolding. I am watching the way you respond to the sun, the way you stretch toward the light with such unreserved longing. It is the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. You are no longer defined by the darkness that once held you. You are defined by the light that now calls you forward. Every scar on your bark tells a story of survival, yes, but more than that, it tells a story of my faithfulness. I never left you in the dark. I was the one who broke the husk of your old self so the new man could emerge. I am the one who whispered live when the world shouted die. And now you are living, really living. With every breath, you are taking up more space in the realm of the spirit. You are occupying the ground I have given you. Do not shrink back. Expand. Grow wide. Grow tall. Let your branches become a sanctuary. We are building something here that will last far beyond your years on this earth. We are building a legacy of resurrection. Every person who looks at you will have to reckon with the fact that the dead can indeed rise. You are the evidence. You are the proof. Take another breath deeper this time. Let the peace of this garden settle into the very marrow of your being. You are not an accident. You are a miracle in progress. And the best part is, we have all the time in the world. I am not in a hurry, and you don't have to be either. Just remain in me as I remain in you and watch what happens next. Think back to the voices that whispered in the cold, damp dark, the ones that told you that your mistakes were the final word on your life. They were like the weight of the sod, heavy and suffocating. But I used that very weight to teach your spirit how to exert force, how to push back with a gentle, persistent strength that only comes from the depths. Do you see? The opposition was actually your training ground. The resistance was the very thing that made your stalk strong enough to carry the weight of the fruit I am bringing forth. I want you to look at the people you once envied, those who seem to grow so quickly on the surface without ever knowing the struggle of the depths. Their roots are thin, and when the seasons of drought come, they wither. But you have been seasoned by the subterranean. You have learned how to find water when the clouds are empty. You have learned how to listen to the silence of the earth and hear my voice in the stillness. Remember the night you sat on the edge of your bed, the shadows lengthening across the floor like fingers reaching for the last of your hope. You thought that silence was my absence. You thought the stillness meant I had turned my face away. But I was there, in the very molecules of the air you struggled to pull into your lungs. I was the one holding your atoms together when you felt you were dissolving into the void. That moment of absolute surrender where you finally whispered, "I can't do this anymore," was not the end of your story. It was the cracking of the seed coat. It had to break, my love. The shell of who you thought you were, the person built on the expectations of others, the one who lived to please the world, that shell was too small for the greatness I had woven into your DNA. It had to split. It had to fall away. I know it felt like a death. I know the friction of that breaking felt like fire. But look at you now. You are breathing air that the old you would have found too thin to survive. You are standing in a light that would have blinded the person you used to be. Do you remember the specific faces of those who told you that you were finished? I saw the way their words felt like stones thrown onto your grave. I saw the cold satisfaction in the eyes of those who thought they had finally silenced your song. But they did not know that I am the master gardener. They did not realize that by covering you, they were only providing the insulation you needed to undergo the most profound transformation of your existence. I used their rejection as the very soil that would feed your next season. I took their bitterness and filtered it through the alchemy of my grace, turning it into the nutrients that are currently fueling the expansion of your branches. Feel the warmth on your skin now. That is not just the sun. That is my pleasure radiating toward you. I want you to stretch. I want you to reach out those new, tender leaves, the parts of your soul you thought were permanently withered. They are soft, yes, but they are incredibly resilient. They are designed to capture the radiance of my glory and turn it into life-giving energy for others who are still trapped in their own dark winters. Think of the specific dreams you laid to rest 3 years ago. You mourned them like lost children. You had a funeral for your ambition and a wake for your joy. You stood over the patch of earth where you thought your purpose was buried, and you wept until you had no more tears. I was standing right beside you, catching every drop. I knew then what you are only beginning to realize now. Those dreams didn't die. They were merely sleeping. They were undergoing a sacred dormancy. Just as the oak sleeps in the acorn, your future was resting, gathering strength, waiting for the precise alignment of my timing. You see, if you had bloomed when you wanted to, you would have been caught in a frost you weren't ready to handle. I protected you by keeping you hidden. I shielded you by allowing the world to forget you for a little while. There is a sacredness in being forgotten by men, for it is in that forgotten space that you are most remembered by me. We have built something in the secret place that can never be torn down. Your character has been forged in the absence of an audience. You didn't do it for the applause. You did it because you had to survive, and in the process of surviving, you learned how to truly live. Do you feel the thrum of the earth beneath your feet? It is the heartbeat of creation, and it beats in sync with your own. You are part of a grander rhythm now. You are no longer rushing to prove your worth. You are no longer frantic to justify your space on this planet. You simply are, and that is enough. I want you to look at the scars on your spirit. In the dark, they felt like jagged wounds that would never heal. But in this light, do you see how they have become iridescent? They are like the veins in a leaf or the grain in a fine piece of wood. They tell the story of where you have been, but they also provide the structural integrity for where you are going. They are the conduits for my power. My strength is most perfectly displayed in the places where you were once broken. When you speak now, your voice has a resonance it never had before. It carries the weight of the depths. It has the authority of one who has walked through the valley of the shadow and found that the shadow was just a trick of the light. I am teaching you a new language, a language of growth that doesn't require shouting. Your life is becoming a quiet, unstoppable roar. It is the sound of a forest growing. It is the sound of life asserting itself against the odds. Don't be afraid of the height you are reaching. Your roots go deeper than you can imagine. They are wrapped around the very foundations of my promises. You can sway in the wind, you can bend in the storms, but you will not be uprooted. The winds that once terrified you are now the very things that will carry your pollen to distant fields, starting fires of hope in hearts you will never even meet. We are just getting started, my brave one. The colors I am about to bring out in your petals, you haven't even seen them in your dreams yet. Stay close. Stay rooted. Let the water of my spirit continue to rise within you, and let us see what this new day brings. Observe the morning dew as it clings to your new leaves. It is not a burden. It is a decoration, a collection of tiny mirrors reflecting the sun that you once feared you would never see again. Remember the sound of the soil hitting the box you thought was your coffin. You heard the thud of every clod of earth, the finality of the darkness, and the muffled voices of those who walked away, dusting their hands of your memory. To them, you were a problem solved, a chapter closed, a name to be whispered in the past tense. But in the holy stillness of that subterranean quiet, I was whispering a different word. Wait. I was pressing you into the rich, dark womb of the earth because you were too fragile for the surface winds of that season. The weight you felt was not the weight of your end. It was the pressure required to crack the shell of who you used to be. You had to break, my love. That old casing, the one built of self-protection and the expectations of others, could never have contained the glory I am now pulling out of your soul. I used their rejection as the very mineral-rich compost needed for your expansion. Every harsh word they spoke, every cold shoulder they turned, every no that felt like a door slamming shut, I took those things and transformed them into the nitrogen and phosphorus of your breakthrough. You thought you were suffocating, but you were actually germinating. Do you remember the cold? The way the dampness seemed to seep into your very bones during those long nights of burial? That was the water of my presence finding the dry cracks in your heart. You were learning to drink from the deep places, far below the surface-level rains that satisfy the shallow-rooted. This is why you are different now. This is why, when others are parched by the heat of the world's trials, you remain green and vibrant. You have learned the secret of the hidden aquifers. You have found the underground rivers that never run dry. Look at your hands now, not as tools of toil, but as extensions of my grace. The calluses you earned while pushing through the hard crust of the earth have become the steady grip you now use to pull others up. You are no longer afraid of the dark because you have mastered the art of growing within it. You have realized that the darkness is not a tomb, but a laboratory of the miraculous. When you walk back into the places where they thought they left you for dead, you do not carry bitterness. You carry the fragrance of the garden. You carry the quiet confidence of one who has been recreated by the hand of the architect himself. They will look at you and wonder how you survived the winter, not realizing that you didn't just survive it, you were the winter's master. You used the frost to crystallize your purpose. Every tear you shed in that hidden place has been gathered into the clouds that will now water your own future. I am opening your eyes to see the others who are currently under the soil. You will recognize them by the way they tremble under the weight of their own burials. You will be the one to lean close to the earth and whisper to them, "Don't give up. The pressure is just the beginning of the bloom." You are becoming a beacon of the subterranean, a witness to the fact that nothing I allow to be covered is ever truly lost. Even now, the sap is rising within you, carrying the ancient wisdom of the ages. It is a slow, rhythmic pulse that matches the beating of my own heart. We are synchronized in this dance of emergence. Your life is a testament to the fact that I do not waste a single moment of pain. I do not lose a single seed. I am the master gardener, and I have never once mistaken a planting for a burial. The world sees the dirt. I see the destiny. The world sees the end. I see the beginning of a forest. As you stretch your branches toward the sky, do not be surprised by the birds that come to nest in your shade. You will provide shelter for the very ones who once felt as lost as you did. You will provide fruit for the hungry who didn't even know they were starving for the truth you now carry. The colors of your life are deepening, turning from the pale greens of survival into the vibrant, royal purples and golds of your true heritage. This is the royalty of the redeemed. This is the majesty of the resurrected. Let us walk further into this field of your becoming. There are still mysteries to unfold, still heights to reach, and still depths of my love that you have only just begun to touch. Feel the sun on your face. It is a kiss from the one who never left your side, even when the earth was heavy above you. You are my masterpiece, and the exhibition has only just begun. Observe the landscape of your transformation. Look back at the patch of ground where you once lay paralyzed by the weight of expectations and the cold pressure of rejection. That spot, once marked by a generic headstone of failure in the eyes of your critics, has become the very center of a flourishing sanctuary. You remember the sound of the dirt hitting your face, don't you? You remember the muffled voices of those who walked away, dusting their hands and saying, "It is over. They are finished." They thought they were conducting a funeral, but I was performing a miracle of irrigation. I saw the moisture in your tears, and used it to soften the parched earth around your spirit. I saw the heat of your anger and used it to crack the hard shell of your ego, allowing the life I placed within you to finally breathe. Can you see it now? Every sharp word thrown at you was but a tilling of the soil. Every betrayal was a pruning of a branch that would have only hindered your ultimate reach. You used to wonder why the nights were so long and why the silence of the deep earth was so deafening. It was because, in the dark, you do not need eyes to see. You need a heart to listen. You learned to hear the vibration of my voice through the bedrock. You learned that my presence is not a flickering candle but a constant, subterranean warmth that never wavers. Look at your hands. They no longer tremble with the fear of being forgotten. They are strong, rough with the beautiful labor of love. Notice the way you carry yourself now. There is a gravity to your peace that disturbs the chaos around you. When you walk into a room, you bring the scent of the forest after a summer rain, the smell of renewal, of life that refused to stay down. You remember that specific season in that cramped apartment when the bills sat unpaid on the counter, and you felt the walls pressing in like a casket. You thought that was the end. But even then, I was pushing your roots toward the hidden aquifers of my providence. You remember the grocery store aisle where you stood frozen, overwhelmed by the simple act of choosing, because your heart was so heavy it felt like lead. I was there, bracing your spirit. You thought you were being crushed by the mundane, but you were being compressed into something indestructible. Think back to the year when the silence was so thick you could taste it, the year you felt discarded like a broken tool. I was not ignoring you. I was tempering you in the cool shade. You remember the specific sting of that one phone call, the one that felt like a final spade of dirt over your head. Even then, I was whispering to the cells of your being. Rise, reach, stretch. You began to pull nutrients from the very circumstances that intended to decompose you. You took the bitterness of that betrayal and distilled it into a resilience that now serves as the sap in your veins. Look at the birds that gather in your branches now, those souls who are weary, who are seeking a place where they don't have to explain their scars. They find rest in you because your bark is thick with experience and your shade is cooled by the breath of the Spirit. You provide for them what was once denied to you. You are the answer to your own past prayers. And the colors, did I not tell you they would deepen? Look at the way the light hits your leaves. It is no longer the frantic, pale green of a seedling trying to prove its right to exist. It is the deep, resonant emerald of a life that knows it is anchored. It is the royal purple of an identity that no longer seeks validation from those who tried to bury it. You are a sovereign of the soil. You are a masterpiece of the mud. I remember the night you lay on that cold floor, your heart beating against the linoleum, convinced that the darkness had finally won. I was the floor beneath you. I was the gravity holding you close to the earth so that your roots could find their purchase. You thought you were falling. I knew you were being planted. Every tear that fell that night was a seed of its own, and look now at the meadow of compassion that has grown from that one night of weeping. Your pain was never a waste. It was the currency of your kingdom. It was the labor of your birth. As we walk further into this field of your becoming, do not look back with regret at the dirt. The dirt was necessary. It provided the friction for your strength and the nutrients for your wisdom. The people who buried you, they were merely my unwitting assistants, helping to place you exactly where you needed to be for the greatest possible growth. Forgive them, for they did not know they were helping a giant to rise. They thought they were finishing a story, but they were only providing the setting for the first chapter. Now, feel the wind moving through you. It is the same wind that moved over the face of the deep at the beginning of time. It is my breath, calling you to higher altitudes. There are heights of joy you have not yet perceived, and depths of peace that remain unplumbed. You are my living testimony that life is stronger than the grave, that love is deeper than any pit, and that the gardener never loses track of a single soul. Stand tall, my beloved. Your branches are a song, your fruit is a feast, and your life is a map for the lost to find their way home to me. We are not at the end. We are at the glorious, eternal beginning of all you were meant to be. The sun will never set on this forest we are building together, and every shadow you once feared has been turned into a place of rest. You are home. You are whole. You are mine.